Welcome to this latest edition of Pompey Talk. My name is Mark McMahon, and joining me today to discuss all of the developments at Pompey is the News' Neil Allen. Neil, we're still talking about John Mousinho, but there's a very good reason today. You've been speaking to Andy Cullen to get the latest on the whole situation. Fill us in on what's been happening.
Yeah, I spoke to Andy Cullen this morning, as of Tuesday morning, isn't it, about the John Mousinho situation. I mean, I describe it as a situation, but at the moment, there's no suggestion that he's looking to leave. He certainly hasn't said he's looking to leave. But there's always that nagging feeling out there, the nagging doubt that will he be here beyond the summer? Because quite simply, his stock's high. He's done a remarkable job at Pompey. Clubs are noticing that. And it's only natural that clubs will start looking at him this summer for vacant managerial jobs. It's to be expected. We talked about it last summer as well, didn't we? So it's to be expected. Andy Cullen says they've had no interest from anybody at this moment in time. And he stressed that John's still got jobs to do at Pompey. And he also expects him to get interest as well. It's basic, isn't it? Football's basic. If you do well in football, you get noticed. Terry Devlin this summer, there'll be interest in him. It's not, you have to be Nostradamus to work that out, do you really? It's blindingly obvious. I've seen one particular character on social media who likes putting out obvious transfer stories, and like, oh, Wrexham are in for him. Yes, Wrexham are in for him. We all know Wrexham are going to be in for him. It's obvious. It's going to happen, isn't it? That's how it works. He's done really, really well. Pompey turned down a bid in January. Wrexham didn't get promoted. They haven't got to the playoffs. So Wrexham will look at Terry Devlin. That's it. They will. I'm sorry to say that, but they will. And no doubt other clubs will eye him as well because he has such a phenomenal season. 17 trophies he earned. So people look at him. Same with John Mousinho. He's contracted for another 2 years, Mousinho, but clubs will look at him. But he doesn't have to. They have to make an approach for him, don't they, of course?
Yeah.
And some clubs, surely he's not ever going to consider Watford if they came in for him. So it's not all like he wants to go, he wants to leave. It depends on the club. It depends if clubs are interested. So the fact of the matter is, it's looking like a long summer anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was going to actually ask you that at some point. Before I do, though, 3 things I took home from your interview with Cullen. 1, no contact has been made. Mousinho remains committed, and he hopes that he remains at Pompey next season. And at this moment in time, did you expect Andy Cullen to say anything other than that there?
No, but you have to, again, you have to put the questions to people at the football club. You have to ask the question. For example, I spoke to Terry Devlin after the game Saturday. You have to ask the question about his future. He's never going to come out and say, oh, yeah, I'm leaving Pompey. Farewell. Goodbye, everybody. It's going to be straight down the line, isn't it? That's how it works. But all you can do is ask the question to Andy Cullen, who's he's the most senior person that ever speaks at the football club, bearing in mind the owners don't speak. So he's the top dog, for want of a better phrase. Sorry, I've got prison self-block H in my head there. So, yeah, he's the top dog, is Andy Cullen. And, yeah, you put the question to him and he says there's been no approaches at this moment in time. We'll see how that develops.
Yeah. Again, he used the word hope. He hopes. I very much hope, he says, that John Mousinho will be here next season. Again, the skeptics out there, the cynics will be going, that's not a definitive answer. So it just keeps rolling over, doesn't it, slightly?
Yeah, but you don't know, do you? I would definitely not predict he's going to be here at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So you just don't know how things develop. If Andy Cullen is correct, at this moment in time, there's been no approach. He cannot predict if there will be an approach and if that interests John Mousinho and he wants to go there, you can't predict it. That's why Hope, I think, is quite accurate, and I wouldn't moan at him about that. Things develop very, very quickly. All transfers, and effectively it would be a transfer, develop very, very quickly. It changes, doesn't it? Swiftly. So yeah, that's why I said it'd be a long summer, because this is an ongoing thing. So yeah, John Mousinho, he's been very eloquent. Spoke again after the game Saturday. Traditionally, the local media have a sit down with the manager for an end of season chat, tying it all up, and that's scheduled next week, as ever, with John Mousinho. So yeah, we'll see him again before he goes away on his holidays and pre-season kicks in.
Yeah, I suppose for Pompey, they don't want this to be going on. You say we're in for maybe a long summer. It's not in Pompey's interest for this to linger, is it really? The recruitment, the players that they're maybe focusing now on recruitment are going to be going, well, who's going to be the manager? The players who are currently in the squad, they're going to be going, oh, what about the manager? Do I want to play under somebody new? Like, so it's in Pompey's interest to sort of way try to contain this here, to stop the speculation from growing, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can't stop speculation. Couldn't have said that. You can't stop it. It's going to be out there, isn't it? So they've got to act as business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they can do. Just carry on. That's it. Just carry on. Continue focusing on pre-season arrangements. Continue focusing on recruitment. They will soon really announce a retain list as well. So there's still plenty to be going on. And with Bristol, we do know they've been in for John Mousinho twice before. So that's why I'm a bit concerned this time around that they've got a history of targeting him. So again, all you can do is talk about this moment in time. And Andy Cullen says at this moment in time, there's been no approaches for John Mousinho.
Yeah, no, definitely. What about Richard Hughes' situation? Can I get your thoughts on it then? He's been linked away. Sheffield Wednesday has been mentioned last week. Just get your general thoughts on that one.
Yeah, well, again, Rich Hughes normally sits down with us at the end of the season and goes through the season. I have been in touch with him. He hasn't come back to me yet, so hopefully we can put that question to himself as well about his plans. I've seen a bit of criticism from some fans actually when that story emerged on Football Insider. I think it wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was it Football
either
Insider?
League World or I can't remember now.
Yeah, one of that lot. So, yeah, and yeah, a few people saying good riddance, but what you cannot overlook is that he was appointed September, October 2022, and he has overseen the transformation of Pompey Football Club. So from when he came in, the players he's recruited, the appointment of John Mousinho, winning the League One title, staying in the Championship for 2 years. That's been on his watch. He's overseen that. He's done a brilliant job. Now, you can criticise various transfer windows, particularly last summer's, but I've always said he's been quite strong in January, and he continues to do that. He's had to be, because obviously correcting mistakes from the previous summer, especially in the latest January window. But there's no getting away from the fact that his arrival has coincided with Pompey finally returning to the Championship and remaining there. And by the way, he was one that drove John Mousinho's appointment.
Yeah.
But also, the Eisners also approved it. So they deserve a little bit of respect, a bit of credit for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they've all stuck by him as well, John Mousinho, at various times when other clubs would easily have sacked him. So, yeah, I think it's a bit harsh to criticise Rich Hughes overall. But you can, by all means, criticise some signings, many signings, transfer windows. But he's done a very, very good job here, and deserves credit for that.
Yeah, I suppose, but like in Mousinho, he deserves the recognition, and it shouldn't really come as a surprise then, despite the odd mistake in the transfer market, that he is being linked elsewhere as well. So fair play to him.
It all, with him and Mousinho, it all boils down to how long they've been at the football club. So he's been here. Well, not too far away from 4 years. John Mousinho has been there 3.5 years. That's a long time at any football club these days. A lifetime, effectively. Managers don't, head coaches don't last that long. Sporting directors come and go as well, don't they? Even though they're meant to be permanent places, aren't they? You see them come and go in different football clubs within a season. So they've both been here for a long time. Do they want a fresh challenge? That's the key. Do they want a fresh challenge? Do they want to? Do they feel they've done all they can here with Pompey? Which I get. I understand that. So sometimes you can't keep them if you want to, because it's like most people when they have jobs. Sometimes they get stale. They want to move on for something else. Fair enough. That's how it works, isn't it? So you can't keep them both here against their will. No doubt, if one or both depart, the owners will get criticism for that. But say John Mousinho's been here 3.5 years. Does he fancy another relegation battle?
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait, no, he won't fancy another relegation battle. Will it? If there will be one or not, we don't know. We'll see how the transfer window pans out. But yeah, there's those sort of things to consider. And again, with Mousinho, he has to consider the next job. There's no point going to Watford if that came up. Sheffield Wednesday will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying Sheffield Wednesday are interesting whatsoever, but you're just looking hypothetically at the jobs out there. Sheffield Wednesday, now they haven't got the points deduction. For me, that's a really attractive job. I know it's League One, and clearly there'll be financial restrictions with the new owners in place. From what happened at Pompey, that they have to have a financial plan not to overspend. And by all accounts, it appears that Sheffield Wednesday need to improve the infrastructure as well in terms of the stadium. And I read about hot running water and things like that. So they might not be absolutely loaded as people think in terms of recruitment, but it's still a really attractive job. But it's League One. Leicester looks a real mess, doesn't it? Huge mess. They could get more points in theory, couldn't they? They need to get rid of the squad, the big earners. It's a big club, though, isn't it? In League One, but it's a mess. And then Bristol City, who really good infrastructure, been to the training ground several times. Most recently, see Joe Morrell last month. Impressive infrastructure. The chairman's ploughed almost 300 million into that football club to transform it. But they just seem to be treading water every year in the Championship, losing a lot of money every year, appear to be getting nowhere. So that's an interesting one as well.
Yeah. In terms of Mousinho and Hughes, does their futures depend on each other? If Mousinho goes, would that likely increase the likelihood of Hughes going, and vice versa? How much is that relationship dependent on each other, and has that close bond contributed to success for both of them during the time at Fratton Park?
Well, they work very well together, but football's brutal. You don't follow people around in football, do you? Really, in those positions. But they've formed an excellent partnership together. The results speak for themselves. I know it's a cliche, but they do. Every game, win, lose or draw, Rich Hughes goes down to the touchline to see John Mousinho. Every single game. He's always there for him, always there by his side, always backing him, always supporting him. And John Mousinho must really appreciate that, especially some of the defeats. I didn't see Hughes at QPR, but normally he's down by the tunnel. Say win, lose or draw, backing the manager. I think that's important. They've got a genuine affinity and friendship there. But it's a working friendship, so I don't know whether they would go to another club together or how that would work. But I can only speak to as they are at Pompey, and it's been an excellent partnership.
Yeah. Finally, we'll wrap it up after this here one. But Mousinho obviously went to the Eisners with a list of demands. Let's call him that there. He wasn't putting ultimatums or anything yet. He said that there. Do you reckon he's went with these demands with Rich Hughes backing him up? They're singing from the same hymn sheet. They both want this here type of development at Pompey to take them to the next level. It's not John going rogue. This is a combined list of demands, is it?
Completely. Why would they not want more investment into the playing side. I know Rich has not been very happy in the past when the issue has been raised about the Eisners not giving him enough money, and he's been very defensive of the Eisners. But the fact remains that Pompey need more investment to make their jobs easier, to give them a greater opportunity for Pompey to start climbing the league and having other ambitions and challenges other than finishing 1 or 2 places above the relegation zone. So they're all on the same side, and no doubt Andy Cullen agrees as well. We all can acknowledge that football's ruined. It's crazy, the financial side of it all. It's crackpot. We all can acknowledge that. But we all can say, wait a minute, Pompey still need a bit more finance to try to somehow maintain pace with the rest of the championship. It doesn't sit right, but they have to. I'm sorry to say they have to. Other clubs are coming up, clubs are coming down. West Ham or Spurs are coming down next season. Birmingham and Wrexham are going to have more money to spend next season.
Yeah.
Cardiff are coming back up and probably have something to spend as well. Wolves are coming down. It's going to be another tough season, isn't it, next year? And Pompey have to try to keep pace. They can't stand still. So you'd imagine everybody, those three, Cullen, Mousinho and Hughes, will be saying, yep, we need more money, please. Please, can you help us? And hopefully the Irons will be receptive to it. Although what I will say is that they've increased their budget every transfer window since Hughes has been here. They have kept increasing it. And they will need to do it again in the summer. So yes, we shall see. Again, we'll see how it develops. It could be, Devlin could go. We'll see what happens with Segasic. Then that's that model working, isn't it, of bringing in young, promising players and selling them on. That's a model. I know some people will moan about that, but that's the model they want, which other clubs in the Championship are operating with decent success. Coventry, for instance, have done the same thing. So that's Pompey's model. So that's another way of financing. But Pompey do need improved finance. And again, it's stating the obvious. It's not a controversial statement, is it? They need to increase the budget and their spending power to try to maintain pace with the rest of the Championship. Nobody can deny that.
Could this summer be one of those rare occasions where if Pompey do sell Segasic, they do sell Devlin, and say they get a good 6 or 7 million, could the Eisners then turn around to them and go, well, you want it more? Here's it. Here's the money. They're not actually going to put their hands in their pockets as much. They're basically going to say, well, you've made this money, and use that there as a way to increase spending. You know what I mean?
That's all very hypothetical. It's too many what if maybes for me, really. You expected somebody to sell for 7 million, and will the Eisners give them the 7 million? I don't know. It's far too down the road for me there. That's what I will say. The Eisners have never taken money out of the football club. Ever. I've seen the accounts every year. They've never taken a penny out of the football club. They've players that have been sold have been reinvested in the football club, whether it be players, infrastructure, or wherever you want to say it's been allocated. They've still not touched the money from Callum Lang, which came at the very end of the window. And Andy Cullen insists it's not being used to do pictures or whatever. So they've still got that as well. So they've always operated the mantra, and they eat what you kill, isn't it? So yeah. It's like that's a phrase, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good phrase. But that basically, yeah. So I know some people aren't their biggest fans, but they've never pocketed money or taken any money out of the football club, have they? It's always been reinvested in some way. So yeah, but Pompey, they need this model to start working because they need it to supplement getting more revenue into the football club and improving their playing squad, because we do not want to see Pompey struggling season after season after season. It's no fun. No fun at all, is it?
Definitely not. I concur with that there. Okay, Neil, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you for your help. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back again soon. Goodbye.